I said I was going to make a video about why the fire unicorn skin was better than the ice unicorn, but I can't do that. You know, there's not enough material there, okay? Yes, I have to get the 10 minutes because I want the double ad. So sue me. I want money. You know what? Everyone does. However, I want money doing something that's right, which is making Halo great again.
So guys, I think I've found the king of the 343tards here. I declare him the king. I grant thee the rank of master. Master of the 343tards in the 343 council. This is an absolutely hilarious commentary, so I'm just going to jump straight into it. So Zaman, I really think that you have some moronic opinions that took you about 2 seconds to arrive to. But I actually think you can come around. But I think you need to be less jokey and less, dabbing on the haters in your conduct, and you could actually look at some of your own opinions objectively instead of subjectively. So I try and look at these things objectively. I also try and keep in mind my subjective opinions, and I try and challenge myself as I'm writing and rewriting my script. So this is a scripted commentary, and you will see that I have kind of held back on you quite a lot. Whereas at the very end of the commentary, I'm going in on Halo Collective. So stay in for that. So I'm going to take some segments of your video out of, just out of the entire thing, because quite frankly, I can't go through, and I wouldn't want to go through all of that again. But the link will be in the description for you guys to check it out and see what you guys think personally. Now, it's basically has more dislikes than likes, but it's about even in its likes and dislikes, which worries the hell out of me. So, and I'll say this right now before I start, point number 2, where he talks about Forge being vastly improved in 343 games, is something that I actually agree on, and I think he could have added in the custom browser too, which is also a nice addition to the game. Now, I don't actually like Halo 5, I think it's a terrible Halo game, but if it was a standalone game, it wouldn't be as bad, but it's a Halo game, so it has a standard, it has a bar to meet, and it didn't. So my main issue here with this guy isn't that his opinion, by the way, is different to my own. I can handle different opinions. It's that he begins immediately in a very condescending tone by calling people out who disagree with him and calling them haters. And he also defends some of the most ridiculous additions to Halo because he enjoys them not by the merit of their worth.
Which is why you clicked on this video. The top 5 reasons why 343 Industries is better than Bungie.
And here we go.
REQs. Now, I can already see the keyboard warriors that come on. What the f? How did you catch REQs? What the microtransactions? Let me explain, guys. The REQs in Halo 5 have taken so much creativity to make, okay?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
343 put a lot of creativity into the REQs. And guys, I'm either going to go a little bit farther and say 343 figured out a way to successfully implement microtransactions to the game. I challenge you to go to a Call of Duty YouTuber, guys. You will not find one who trash talks the microtransactions in Call of Duty. Guys, if you think Halo 5 is bad, try to go to Black Ops 3.
So, on your first point there, Zaman, how can you defend REQs, dude? Like, you go on to say that you enjoy the diversity they bring and that you'd like to see them in Halo 6, which is frankly shocking. The REQs and the free content updates were not free. They're incentivized gambling by making each content edition add another layer of grind to the game. Each month, the predictors for unlocking legendary weapons for Warzone got harder to achieve because more content was added into the game in a fashion that people could not keep up with. So people put down money for REQs. As you admitted, you put down money for REQs in this game. So this point, in my opinion, is a total foolhardy and ridiculous reason as to why 343 are better than Bungie. 343 brought gambling into Halo. It's not content, it's gambling. Microtransactions are gambling, and the base game was changed so much. Some people think I agree with microtransactions, but I don't. They just don't affect other games as much as I've seen them affect Halo. But in my opinion, I want them gone from games. Give us systems to unlock content, not a random number generator gambling system. So on this point, you absolutely, totally fail. And by saying that you want them in Halo 6, you're just asking for more gambling systems to make it into the game. It's also completely hypocritical of you to say that you can unlock all the REQs very easily just by gameplay time, and you also admit in the same sentence that you paid for Rex. So you don't actually know that. That's not an anecdotal point that you're making there. That's just a wild guess based on other people's opinions. I just don't get where you're coming from in that respect, man, and I just can't agree with it.
You know, it might not be, you know, map control Bungie style, but I didn't like that, you know? And before, I know I'm gonna get the comment, well, that's because you sucked. You know, guys, I was decent at Reach. I don't know if I was good or bad. I was young. How am I supposed to judge this? But I will tell you this much. I prefer Rex over no Rex. I really think Rex are a very cool and interesting thing. Number 3. More customization. Now, I've complained a lot about the 200 armors in Halo 5, and I think that is a terrible. I think there's way too many armors, and they did that because they wanted to make money off of the Rex. Okay, that's honestly why they did that. I think they could have done it in a wiser way, and I'll be making a video on how you can still have microtransactions in the game and actually make it fun for people and make people not have an issue with it at all. Like the uniqueness of the player. I mean, in no other world, another game, Halo game, could I make a video and get more dislikes than likes about Nubius weapon camos. You know what I mean? Like that takes thanks 343.
So by your own admission here, you're saying that 343 added some of these extra armors, which, as you said, were complete carbon copies and replicas of each other with just very, very slight differences in order to earn money, in order to make the rec system more grindy. Yet in your first point, you're defending the rec system, saying that it's perfect and it's really easy to unlock everything. So which is it? Which is it? Is it grindy? Or is it, you know, is it good or is it bad? Make your mind up, because this is a totally hypocritical sentence. Within, 3 minutes of each other, you've made an absolute stark contrast in both of the things that you've said. So where do you stand? Where do you stand on this issue? You either like Rex and support them in their totality, or you do have problems with them. Now, I know that you said that you have a video coming up and where you're going to talk about how they can be implemented properly, which a lot of people have done. And I mean, Faven, Luke the Notable, Axeman, all of these guys have actually gone through some of these videos and some of these points, and they've found out ways and they've discussed ways in which they think microtransactions and actual progression-based points could be implemented into the same game so that they actually are a tool wherein people can just unlock them by basic play at the same rate that they could just pretty much buy them. If they want to buy them because they're busy, that's fine, but it won't actually affect the person that wants to grind. So they've already gone through this, so I can't imagine that you're going to come up with a better idea than those guys. And the main real point here is that you're not consistent in what you're saying. You're seriously not consistent in what you're saying here. You're saying on one hand the rec system is great, but on the other hand it's bad, and it allowed people to grind, and it incentivized people gambling and spending money. So I think you need to take a step back and reevaluate your own opinions here. Evaluate your own opinions, reevaluate them, because this is just, it's laughable really, like it really is. Look at your comment section as well, and I'm going to go back to the whole hater point that you were saying that, people are just hating on you, you're going to dab on the haters, all of this childish Jake Paul, Team 10 shit. Dude, it's just so immature. The way that you're treating this. You're treating this like it's a fucking joke. That, people disagree with my opinion, they're just haters. They're not just haters. If you take a step back and actually listen to what some people are saying, and I listen to people that, criticize me. Now, a lot of the time I will troll them back because they're just trying to have a go at me, and that's something that you will learn on YouTube. You'll learn how to troll them back. But one of the reasons that people are disliking your videos, as you're about to go on and say, before I get to my next point, you're saying that in no other game could you release, a video about a weapon camo and get that many dislikes. So thanks 343. If you're getting that many dislikes on a game and people are arguing with you that much for promoting some of the shittiest decisions ever made in the Halo franchise, do you not think that they're onto something? Do you think that, you have a whole it's not me, it's them kind of mentality? Whereas if you just took a step back and looked at what has happened in the history of the Halo community and what has happened recently with 343, you would have a better opinion on what's actually happening. And basically you wouldn't have made this video because it's just flat out stupid.
Number 4. Spartan Company. Well, shoot. I don't know if I've been counting down or up. That was number 2 or number 4. It's like the second time I've done it. That just, guys, you know what I'm saying, okay? It's one of the points. Spartan Companies. I didn't even say it when I said it. Spartan Companies. Okay, so Spartan Companies are something that I kind of have a love-hate relationship with. I thought the Achilles helmet was really cool, and I liked the way it implemented that kind of teamwork. You know, you could meet people across the Halo kind of battlefield, and you could team up and play with them. And for the little tryhards in Warzone, it worked out great. You know, these guys are lifelong friends now because they help each other get unfrigged. So they traverse the battlefield, the virtual battlefield of Warzone, and they help each other get unfrigged. So these guys are like blood brothers now, basically. You know, like these guys are bonded for life. So I mean, it's kind of, I think the Spartan Company things are kind of cool. I like having that extra bondage with the community, and I don't think Bungie ever had that.
So you don't think Bungie ever had anything like Spartan companies. Bungie implemented clans from day one in Halo 2. So that's 2004. So well before 343 even were able to implement the universal interface to reflect the Spartan companies, which, by the way, did take several months. It wasn't there initially on launch. In addition to a lot of things that were missing on launch, like 7 launch playlists, no big team battle, no forge, that kind of thing until a few months down the line, Bungie had this from day one. So the Halo 2 actually had a clan system. It was a ranking system. It consisted of the following. You could be a peon, which is the lowest of all the classes. So basically, if you were being punished within a clan, if you were acting like an asshole, you basically could only participate in the clan matches. You could be just a regular average member, recruit other people, invite people to the clans and participate in the matches. You could be a staff member of the clan. And by the way, these clans were huge. There were some really, really big clans like KSI. I'm sure some of you guys remember that. The KOG, Kingdom, like Kingdom of Gods, those ones. So there was the staff, the managers, you know, they had privileges to grant like lower ranks, basically, basically bring people up the ranks and promote them. And they could also boot other members from the clan. And then there were the overlords, basically the administrators and the leaders. You know, they had all the privileges of the staff, but with a lot more power. So you're trying to say that the Spartan companies is such an innovative thing for Halo, but it's not. It's something that we've seen, 3 games ago in Halo. So it really isn't. To say that Bungie didn't do that kind of thing. I also have something to say about this Achilles point that you brought up. You said that, it incentivized people to play more Warzone. Now, around the same time that the Achilles helmet released was the time that 343 said that there was more people playing Halo 5 than there was for Halo 3. So, in my opinion and my theory was that these kind of things dropped to incentivize people to have more concurrent playtime in order to try and boost these figures up. And it has been proven that 343 do not, they kind of flaw these statistics. They completely cater them for how they want the game to appear. They're trying to push this certain narrative that Halo's doing fine, whereas it's not doing fine. Now, you're going to say people like me make Halo not fine. The real thing is, there's a pushback in the community. If I say I'm not going to push back against the developer in order to hope that it gets better, that's an absolute fool's hope, because there's literally no proof of that. Whereas if you do everything you can to bring some of these points to the forefront, and the community are outraged, which we have been for years now, absolutely years now, at least 3 years now since MCC was an absolute fail, and they don't take any of this, constructive criticism and just the regular negative and toxic criticism into, perspective, then 343 are not going. They're not going to, and I don't think they ever will. They're not going to try and improve the game. They're going to make the game for people like you that are just happy with whatever you're given. You're told that this is a good thing, and you just believe it on its face value. You don't look into it. You really don't look into it. You just enjoy the game you're given, which, fair enough, you enjoy the game you're given. But to make some of these absolutely audacious claims that this is a reason that you should be, enjoying 343 Halo more than Bungie Halo, it's just that. It's audacious. It's just ridiculous. And I don't think you've reasoned any of your points well. I think you just hit record on, on your Audacity file and just said whatever the fuck came into your head. And I think that that's a dangerous thing with a lot of these 343 people, and all these people that support 343, to my own subscribers. You guys have seen this as well. They just make these claims, they back it up, they try and back it up anyway, and the absolute criteria for their backups, their facts, I'm doing bunny ears right now, their facts are ones that you can't even back up. You can easily dispute them. And once you start disputing them, they immediately say, well, you're nostalgia blinded. I even got that today. It was because you're nostalgia blinded. You hate 343. It's 343 will continue to fuck you guys out of the community. That's what they're doing. They're destroying a community that was once strong by things like this. Saying that they don't have clans, dude. You really needed to do your research on this, and it just shows your age. You said that you started, in your comment section, you state that you started on CE for this particular video. And I don't believe you, because at one point in time in your commentary, you say that you were very young when you played Reach. So which one is it? Did you start on CE? Did you play online? Did you do all these things? Were you in depth with the Halo community? Or did you start on Reach and then progress towards 343 Halo? If Halo for you is just, if it's 343 is the first thing you associate with Halo, then, I mean, I can totally understand then why you made this commentary, because any Halo fan, any long-term Halo fan, I'm not saying you're not a fan of Halo, because clearly you are, clearly you enjoy the games, but you're not a long-term fan, you haven't seen a lot, and it is a case of respect your elders, because we have been here a lot longer, and we knew the vision of this game. And by the way, you would enjoy, and a lot of people like you who think that you wouldn't enjoy Bungie's types of Halo games, you totally would, because there would be a much larger community, there'd be a lot, you know, larger, like, kind of surface area, I guess. Let's talk science here. There'd be a lot more surface area for interactions in the game if it had more content, if it had basically more, which was what Bungie wanted to give us, more. And what they wanted to give us wasn't just more REQs, more shitty content that was half-assed. They wanted to give us more quality content. And that's not what we get in 343 games. So that was an extremely badly reasoned point. And in some ways, I think you should be ashamed of yourself for even putting this out to the world.
Number 1. The art style of Halo. Now, I know this is going to get so much hate. I can already see it, guys. Let me explain. I have an opinion, you have an opinion, that is okay that they are different, okay? You know, we can have different opinions in the world, but pause on that, I'm about to hit y'all with some facts. You see, I did some research, guys, and now I'm about to explain why every single time I get told how Halo 5 is unrealistic and cartoony, why you guys are actually factually wrong on that, okay? Now, you might be like, well, how can you prove me factually wrong, you know? Just wait. Guys, let me introduce you to something called the electromagnetic spectrum. Boom, it's science. Now guys, if you don't know what the electromagnetic spectrum is, what it is it's basically a chart that shows all the different wavelengths that are found in our physical world, okay? Now I know what you're asking, what does this mean for Halo? Well guys, only human beings are allowed to see visible light, okay? Other animals can, but human beings can only see visible light, which is a very tiny fraction of the electromagnetic spectrum, okay? Now let me explain how this ties into Halo, okay? As light travels from the sun into the planet Earth, the atmosphere absorbs, reflects, and scatters the visible light, and that's one reason why the atmosphere is blue. If it didn't do that, then you would see red atmospheres, and that's one reason why when the sun sets, you see the red atmosphere. What? It has to deal. No, this is true. It has to deal with. It has to deal with the way that the atmosphere reflects, absorbs, and scatters light. I did the research on this. This is Halo. So, you might be asking once again, how does that tie into Halo? Well, here's the thing, guys. On the planet Earth, what we human beings see is actually muted. Okay. On Earth, the atmosphere actually reflects even small bits of visible light. So many scientists agree that if it wasn't for our atmosphere, colors would be more vibrant. Okay, this is true. This is true. If it wasn't for the gases in our atmosphere, we'd be dead. Yes, but if it wasn't for the gases in our atmosphere, we would be able to see color at a more vibrant. They would look more vibrant to us. It'd be more colorful, more cartoonish, as you haters like to say. But that the point rests, okay? Bungie was wrong in making Halo Reach gritty, because we're not on planet Earth, we're on Reach. And unless Bungie wanted to go and say what chemicals made up the atmosphere of Reach, they can't do that. And now, slashing back into here, that's why Halo 5 is factually correct in the art style. So you haters cannot hate me on that anymore, because 343 is factually in the right on their art style.
So you're so right, this is going to get so much hate, because this is one of the most moronic things I've ever heard that justifies 343's art style. Bungie didn't state the chemicals in the air in Reach, therefore 343 is factually accurate. What chemicals make up fucking Meridian? What chemicals make up Sangalios? Are we told that in the game? No, we're not told that in the game. So your justifications here, you have no facts. You have no way of standing on 2 feet on this argument at all. To say that people argued that Bungie had a grittier vision for Halo Reach. The reason Halo Reach was grittier was because of all the game assets it had in it for Forge World. It was completely built around the community being able to build their own experience even after Bungie had checked out of the Halo franchise to go work on Destiny. So that was why Halo Reach looked so gritty, because there was so much packed into it. I mean, I don't know how you don't know this. Dude, you know, it's one of the, like, this is an absolutely crazy thing. You're saying that UV vis spectroscopy has something to do with Halo. It's not a real game. It's not a real thing, dude. It's a game. It's a game. It's not real. It doesn't have to have some basis in reality. I'm a food scientist. I'm an actual scientist, so when you mention UV vis spectroscopy, I've actually dealt directly with UV vis in labs, doing a thesis, in a lab environment, not just in theory, actually in practice. I've dealt with this. And for you to try and bring this up as some kind of way of bolstering, basically a straw man argument, is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely crazy. You absolutely deserve hate for that. You so deserve a lot of hate for that, and you can see that in your comment section on your video. You're getting hated on so hard, and in your opinion you're just dabbing on the haters, but they're not hating on you. They're basically telling you that your justification for the art style is just bullshit. You haven't thought about what you're saying. You've heard something that you think sounds good. You don't actually understand what you're saying, so you blurted it out without knowing what the hell you're talking about, and you totally deserve the hate that you're getting for that, because it's an absolutely silly statement. And again, you should be ashamed of yourself for even saying that. You know, I think a lot of people, you think that they're haters as well in your comment section. I don't think they're haters. I just think that they're weirded out that someone who has an opinion like this is capable of earning enough revenue to afford a mic, a gaming PC, and something that they can use to edit this video and then release it. Like, they're just flabbergasted that you can even do this. You know, let's put all your Halo points aside. They just can't believe that you're even alive and doing this. So this is an absolutely stupid thing to say, dude. If this was true, and if you think that factually you can explain Halo by science, and that it's, you know, actually it's actually something that 343 can have two legs to stand on for, then explain the Spartans' nutrition requirements. I'm a food scientist. Explain their nutrition requirements. They're running around all day. They're 6'9", which means that their metabolic, you know, expenditure must be a hell of a lot higher than us. Maybe 6,000, 7,000, 8,000, 9,000, possibly even 10,000 calories. Do they ever eat? When's the last time you saw a Spartan eat? So basically, I could argue with your logic that Spartans never have to eat. You know, that as soon as you go through those enhancements, you never have to eat once. You know? You're basically, it's so stupid what you're saying, that Bungie never stated the chemical, you know, the chemicals in the air. Therefore, 343 is correct in utilizing a power rangey art style. You're not even looking into the fact that Halo 5 is the first teen-rated Halo game ever, which means that they tried to market it to a larger audience, and bright and colorful things are obviously more attractive to younger kids. It stands out more, it catches the eye more. People unanimously really hate Halo 5's art style. People enjoy Halo Wars 2's art style because it actually tries to get a middle ground between 343's and Bungie's. People would like to see a return to the old art style. Why? Because it's a timeless art style. Look at what I'm playing right now. It's the El Dorito mod, but I've put on all the mod shaders and everything like that to get the Halo 3-esque experience. It looks better. It looks better than Halo 5. It's not hard to look at. It's easy to look at, and it's easy to go back to. And this is what people fell in love with. This is what Halo is to over 1 million people. You know, not as many people played Halo 5 or even play Halo 5, dude. I just don't know how you could argue this. This entire commentary was a farce, dude. It was an absolute farce. And a lot of people were saying that I myself, I'm hating on you for, you know, having your opinion. I don't care what your opinions are, and I agree with your point at the start of your last section. On point 5, I agree with the start of what you said, that this is your opinion, everyone's entitled to their opinions. True, everyone is entitled to their opinions, but if you can't reason your opinion well, and you just start grabbing at absolutely thin air, then obviously people can challenge you on that, and they're totally justified in challenging you on that. So it's a very immature way of looking at things, the way that you've conducted this entire commentary. Again, you should be totally ashamed of yourself, and because of this comment, I crown you king of the 343tards. All hail the king. And now for the special mention. Halo Collective, those dudes I talked about in the last video for being total derps on Twitter, did exactly what I told you lads that they would do, and they defended this guy solely on the premise that I shouldn't even bother challenging people's opinions that are different to my own that I highly disagree with. I should just leave it. It doesn't affect me. You know, I have my autonomy. I will do what I want. You guys will do what you want. So they also made, by the way, this handy little chart. So everyone ready to play Roni commentary bingo? Behind door number 1, will this commentary say they challenged me? Well guys, you challenge everyone's opinions on everything you disagree with until you either make them ignore you completely or you get to the point where your dick is in your hands, furiously wanking when you think you have the moral high ground. And you do this, and I've been in contact with you for a while and I've seen it happen a lot. Will I mention mixtapes from Slipspace? What the hell is that like? I have no idea what that is because I don't watch your awfully generic channel. Number 3. Will I take things way too seriously? Well, I guess that's how you perceive things, lads, but I don't like when people talk absolute nonsense and act like total white knights like you do on Twitter. And if you leave opinions like yours totally unchallenged, then in my opinion, you're actually giving that type of thing the green light that it's the superior method of conduct, which I don't think it is. I think it is good being rounded in your opinions, but you guys just vehemently defend some undefendable actions very emotionally, so you argue very emotionally instead of logically. Will I use the word fanboy or shill? I just did. No, I didn't use those words because this is beyond fanboyism. Also, as an aside, they claim they didn't give a crap if I called them out, but as evidenced by them giving time towards making a chart about this, I think they're pretty mad. Which is fine by me. I'd like to show the Halo community what you guys really are and how you act on Twitter, aside from your actual content on your channel. Also, by the way, one of Halo followers' managers thinks it's sad that I'm doing this. So I have one question for you, Mr. Manager. Are you grateful for Halo, bro? Will Roney call an honest opinion moronic for not being like his? Well, I call different opinions, if they're well-reasoned. As you saw, Zayman's are not well-reasoned for the most part, aside from his Forge opinions, to which I totally agree with him on that. Big Bad Roney can agree on something, right? The 7th seal to hell must have broken, right? But you guys are morons through and through, so I'll reserve just that for you. The next two things are probably going to happen, so I'll agree there. My fans will see you for what you are and react accordingly, perhaps in your comment section. I can't control that, so you're trying to put that on me. Not on me, guys, not on me. It's on my fans. And yes, you are 343tarded also, so you did get that one right. So make sure to highlight that and bring it up to the top desk if you get 5 in a row. So there you go. The next one, by the way, is exactly how you guys perceive yourselves. So let's read this out because I don't think people can see, so that the community can see what a load of arrogant lads you are about your perceptions on Halo. So here's the comment. Roney takes Halo Collective's fair and level-headed comment towards his call-out of the guy in the video out of context and makes it seem worse than it actually is. GLL, you're rubbing off on me, man, because this is actually what damage control looks like when they know they're about to get blasted. I think calling your own comment fair and level-headed is biased, but you guys do this all the time, so I guess you're not going to believe, you're going to believe what you want, guys, so can't teach a chicken to fly, I guess. The rest of them are just hilarious, even to me, because these guys are so frightened about what's going to happen that they must have made a list among themselves of what I was going to do. So, here's one. I insult the content instead of trying to prove a point. I always prove my points with things that 343 have done to Halo, guys. It is your choice to disregard them if you don't see them as a point, as much as it's mine to disagree with your counterpoints as to why 343 aren't bad. By the way, just as an aside, MCC patch is nearing on 2 years now, boys. No apology for that at all, and Halo 5 is hated by more people than actually play it, because it's a rip-off of other games and basically a shit show in general. This one is good. Here it is. The entire thing boils down to stop liking what I like. Yeah, dude, stop liking what I like, boy. Just messing, but that's not the point. My Halo friends that I met in Oregon like Halo 5. My buddy operated Orc and Blaze Unique like Halo 5. They just don't have the poor judgment to get emotionally invested in defending the company that is behind and has taken down Halo like you cooks do. Oh, damn. I failed. I just called them cooks. Shit. Guys, Halo Collective is right about me. I'm a monster. But really, I really don't care if you like the game. What I care about is you're defending a company with a proven track record of lying, because honestly, it is advantageous towards your relationships with each other and other YouTubers that are pro 343, and 343 to be totally in agreement on this particular matter. So you just cannot understand the amount of love and passion I have for Halo to feel the necessity to challenge people who allow and promote complacency in this community, and you never will. This is why I don't like you guys, because you assume you know everyone's agendas. You don't, and you never will. So you should just take the moral high ground if you feel superior to me in your Halo opinions, and just stop responding to me. But you don't, because you guys are egotistical. Which is why a lot of people don't like your channel, myself included, and I will admit when I'm wrong about things, and I have in the past. But postulating that I cannot challenge an opinion, and if I do it's sad, is funny, because you're the ones who get angrier than I ever have and ever will. Here's one. Here's a great one. You want to drink oh my god, I fucked that one up. Let's go again. You want to drink bleach. Hey man, look, I mean, do what you want to do, but I wouldn't wish death on you over opinions on a video game. So don't drink bleach. But it tells me a lot about your personality by making this list, but that's okay. You guys are looking for trouble, as I've seen evidenced by all my current and previous interactions with you on Twitter, so you had this coming. Sorry boys, don't cry, you'll survive. And the rest are just simply things I was never going to do and really don't care about. It's a list really of their paranoia, so there you go, Halo Collective, your special mention. Aside from that, boys, I hope you enjoyed the commentary and are sensible enough to see that the points brought forward are just ridiculous by Zayman. Go to his video and let your voice be known. Rate the video, like or dislike, I don't care. You're getting honesty on this channel and you always will. Be good, boys. I'll see you next video.